It's honestly so mad. Like, I was doing my weekly review this morning. It's where like I go over my journals for the week, do like, I guess, a summary, plan out my week, do my finances, that sort of thing, set goals, etc., etc. And I was just reading through my journals, and it was like a roller coaster, if I'm honest. There's a lot going on, like highs and lows wise. But what I do at the end of like my daily journal is I write down 3 wins, despite like how the day went. I just pick like three of the wins. They don't have to be the biggest wins. They usually are, of course, but like just 3 wins that I had that day. So I always end like on a positive note, I guess, and then I follow up with a few more things. The ultimate thing I end on is like what I'm grateful for that day. But reading through my journals this week, I realised that although there's a lot that actually we've achieved, me and Pearls, together and in our business, there's a lot of challenges that I faced as well. And it's actually been quite a hard week for me. But reflecting back on everything that I've achieved and everything I've done, I realised that, this day like was really tough for me. But at the end, look at the wins. And I'm like, I'm facing this stuff and not letting it derail me. Like, there was a time not so long ago where like the smallest thing would be enough to ruin my entire day. Like, it would stress me out, it would overwhelm me, it would cause such anxiety in me that I would just not bother doing the things that I set out to do because I don't feel like it, I'm not up to it, I'm too tired, I'm just not in the mood, like things like that. Which, okay, sound like valid excuses, but really it's just stopping me from doing the thing, right? So I'm reading through this and I'm like, it wasn't an easy read at all. But at the same time, I'm like, you are becoming a resilient motherfucker. You're becoming someone that doesn't let his emotions stop him from taking the actions that need to be taken. And I think that's where we fall into this trap of not just our emotions as well, it's our thoughts and our emotions. We let that be the guiding factor for why we do what we do. So if we feel up to going to the gym, for example, we go to the gym. If we are in the mood to go see our friends, then we'll go see our friends. But the irony in that example, like, if you feel like shit, I don't want to go see my friends today, I know I planned it, I'm gonna bail, right? Classic one, you've all done it. Well, the irony is that if you actually went and bothered to go and see your friends, assuming they're good friends, you would feel a lot better getting out of the house, doing something, taking your mind off of whatever it is that's bothering you, and being around people like you actually care for and like, that can be there to support you if you need, but maybe just help you to take your mind off it by doing the thing that you've planned to do. But we fall into this trap of letting the mind and body control us when it's the other way around. We're literally in control of this biological machine. We tell it what to do, not the other way around. But when we don't tell it what to do, it does take control. And when it takes control, we become a victim to ourselves, just repeating and living the same life, the same emotions, the same thoughts, the same feelings. It just becomes like a story that's on repeat time and time and time and time again. It doesn't have to be that way, but in order for it to not be that way, we have to become aware. We have to become aware of our thoughts, and we also have to become aware of our feelings. If ever we do not become aware of these things, then how can we overcome them? How can we realize that, I'm being taken out of presence right now, or that thing that I said that I wanted to do, I don't feel like doing right now because this is bothering me. Okay, that's bothering me, but I can still do the thing. Instead, what happens is we get upset, and we stay upset, and because we're upset, we don't want to do anything, we don't want to talk to anyone, we don't want to go outside, and that isn't helping you. That's how you stay stuck. So I've been reading through my journals. I'm like, you're becoming a resilient motherfucker, and I guess I owe it mostly to practicing being a lot more mindful. Like, even today I woke up a bit not really on it today, but it's like an hour later. I did like my my weekly review, regardless of how I felt, got stuff off of my mind, and then I'm out now and I'm like, okay, I'm soggy, it's wet, I didn't really feel that great this morning, but I'm like, I'm fine now. I've walked it off, excuse the pun. And it's because I didn't stay in that state. I observed it. Yeah, it didn't feel great. I let the thoughts stay there, let them fucking be for as long as they wanted. But then they went. I let it go, right? Old me wouldn't have done that. Old me would have been overthinking all day. Old me would be ruminating on the conversations I've had or the experience I had that was bothering me, playing every scenario in my head. New me still does that, but only a little bit, which is fine. It's normal. It's not the point of doing this stuff isn't to never have bad thoughts, never to get stuck in your mind, never to feel like shit, never to be bothered or upset by anything. That's what like new age toxic new age spirituality will try and teach you, to become like unbothered, yeah, or too high to be bothered by these emotions. But that is a loud machine, sir. They're just cleaning the roads over there. But the reality is, we are humans. Feeling and being upset and having these thoughts is a human experience. When it becomes a problem is when you get stuck in it and you let it stay for long. But if you acknowledge it for what it is, let it run its course, and then let go of that shit, that is the proof's in the pudding. You let go of that shit and you move on. Most of us are just picking up every single thing that we come across and putting it in our bag and carrying it on our backs, and it's weighing us down. And despite it feeling like shit, we carry it around some more and some more and some more, because we think that it's easy to do that. But it's not so much those thoughts and feelings that are causing us pain, it's us holding on to them. You know, feelings are just feelings, they just want to be felt. Thoughts are just thoughts, they're not yours. So when we become the observer of our thoughts instead of the owner of our thoughts, we realize that, okay, we can decide which thoughts get to stay and which thoughts get to go. And when it comes to the feelings, when we actually become in tune with ourselves and we realize that feelings just want to be felt, and that no feeling will actually ever hurt us, it's not going to kill us to feel these feelings. Yes, some feelings are uncomfortable, but again, it's the human experience. And if you think about feelings like this, right, your body doesn't speak to you in words, right? Your mind speaks in words, it speaks in thoughts. We understand it because it sounds like our own voice. It might not be, who fucking knows? But there's a voice in our head that speaks the same language as us, right? Your body doesn't have that line of communication. What your body sends you is signals, and it sends you these signals in the form of emotions and feelings, or even sensations within the body, such as tightness in your shoulders, for example. They don't have words, unfortunately. So when you feel that tightness in your shoulders, for example, you don't feel that and go, this means I'm feeling stressed because I've got a lot on my plate at the minute work-wise. It doesn't translate to that. It translates to tight shoulders, painful, uncomfortable, right? But here's the problem. If we ignore the bodily signals, I'm feeling like shit, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling upset, I'm feeling fearful, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling overwhelmed, and we don't decipher and let go of that stuff, then the body carries it around with us. And the body, let's look at it as a child that is sending you its needs, its wants, and you as the adult, as the looker after, as the carer, are just ignoring it, you're neglecting it. So the body gets upset, the body starts to get desperate. What happens to a kid when you don't listen to it or you don't pay attention? It starts kicking, it starts screaming, it starts acting out, it starts being naughty at school. All of this is just to get your attention. You know, you ever had you went to school and there was always that naughty kid. That naughty kid probably just wasn't getting any love and attention at home, which is really sad. But we label them bad kids or problem children, but they're not. They're just needing attention and they don't know how to get it. Anyways, that kid is your body when you ignore it. So it doesn't start screaming and kicking and acting bad. Well, it does start screaming, but those screams look like something else. They look like illness, they look like disease, they look like discomfort. This is your body's way of saying, motherfucker, I'm done with you not listening to me. So it cranks up the volume until you're so sick that you cannot ignore it anymore. unfortunately, it's only at this point where we start to listen to the body, but rather than saying, hey, shit, I need to feel some stuff, we go to the doctors and tell them we've got this problem. So the doctor hears your symptoms, the doctor pairs them together, the doctor gives them a label, and we call that dis-ease. Dis-ease, a body not at ease. And the problem is, then we have this label. This label allows us to get prescribed medication that now suppresses the symptoms, which are the body's way of signaling that something is off, and we think that we're better or we're healed, when that's not the truth. What we are doing is we're just pushing the problem we're sweeping the problem under the rug and thinking that it's going away. When we flip the script and start addressing our shit, that is when things change, not before, not after. Remember, your thoughts are in words, your body is in feelings. When we start observing our thoughts, recognizing that they're not ours, and deciding which ones we want to keep and nurture and grow, and which ones we want to let go of, we clear our minds. When the body sends us signals and tells us that we have feelings, if we start to feel those feelings, that is what relieves us of the pain. That is what relieves us of the discomfort. That is what allows us to feel free. But we got it all backwards. We ignore this shit. We distract our shit. We fucking pretend that it's not happening. And we wonder why the world is in the state that it's in. But of course, we're not taught these things in school, because if we were taught these things in school, trillion-dollar industries would collapse. Big Pharma, for example. The people that send you the stuff that's suppressing your body's signals, but labeling it medication, tell you that you're sick when you're not. You just haven't been taught how to listen to your body and what to do when your body is telling you certain things. Because there's no profit in that. If the whole world knew how to heal themselves, if the whole world knew how to understand and decipher the language of their body, if the whole world knew that the earth provides every remedy that you need, you just need to have the knowledge to put those plants together, materials together, that you could heal yourself of any ailments that you have. But again, you can't patent a plant. You can't brand it. You can't own it. It's an interesting thought. It is. But I guess in that way, if we remain ignorant, we remain profitable. Not for us, but for them. But it's about time that we start opening up and, open ourselves up and realizing this stuff. And it actually starts by slowing down and making space for ourselves to be able to just fucking stop. Because when we slow down and stop, that's when the thoughts that we keep running away from come up. That's when the feelings start bubbling to the surface. But it's easier said than done, because we've been doing it our whole lives. We've been conditioned to behave that way. So when we go against that conditioning, not only do we have the resistance of going against a habit that has been formed over probably decades, we're also going against the discomfort of all the shit that we've been avoiding coming up. But that is what will set you free.